very, very difficult for Mattbro as Ganondorf to kind of get around the ever-changing hands of Peckham's Min. But as we arrive here in Game 1, hopefully Mattbro can pull something out, and it's going to be on Town and City.
A large stage for Peckham to control space in, but at the very least, Mattbro will have space to retreat to. He's no longer going to just be forced off stage when one interaction. Now it's 2 or 3, but already 60% before Mattbro gets his first hit. He finally gets into the forward air, and this is what he needs to do. He needs to force Peckham at edge and keep Peckham pressured. You cannot let this character run away from you.
Yeah, I do like the pressure that Mattbro is bringing out here. And this is kind of a problem we saw in Peckham's last set, is that it's very difficult once there's a character on you to fully get away. And, as we saw against the Little Macaball character. So seeing kind of another very low tier character trying to duke it out with Min is very interesting to see. And it's interesting to see how Peckham can kind of pull himself out of these situations. And hey,
bro, taking the first stock, he has looked really impressive in this. I was worried about his playstyle not translating well to this matchup, but I am standing corrected, and gratefully so. Mattbro is just, his defensive options are just phenomenal. I'm stunned by the way he's approaching this.
Yeah, just kind of finessing through the weaving arms of Peckham, but at the same time, 114%, not quite dead, but it's very possible to get edge guarded here. We're not seeing a lot of the Ram from Peckham, which is interesting. A lot more than Megawatt, which makes sense. You want to pack a punch versus Ganondorf, especially because it's also a viable kill option at these percentages, but might need a little bit of a mix up there to fully take it.
But look at that problem right there. Ganondorf mains love to use the Wizard's Foot to go ahead and just run in. It's his only real burst option, and it clanks against one arm. And last I checked, Min had 2.
Yeah, and she can delay them as well, so all it takes is just the second toss out of the arm to really cause some problems. We're seeing some Wrangler here right now, not quite finding the Gimp there, but still Megawatt is out. Nice air dodge from Peckham, just kind of avoiding the crazy grabs.
Thunderstomp, love to see it. Always love when Ganondorf just does a short hop down air. It's saying this space is mine. You can spot dodge all you want. I am going to cover your options. Don't approach this space. No fly zone.
Yeah, absolutely bombastic material from the Ganondorf. I like the attempt at the aggressive edge guard here from Mattbro. Not quite finding it, but that could definitely be a game changer here if Peckham isn't careful. But hey, just a forward air straight to the face, center stage is all it takes. Mattbro is winning.
Tries to get a dash attack to convert there, but great air dodge. Actually getting back again as Peckham's doing a lot of preloading here. He tosses out a lot of hitboxes to cover edge, and against Mattbro, that does not seem to be the answer. I think you have to wait and charge your Ram a little bit and just wait for Mattbro's air dodges to expire. Then you can go ahead and exploit the weaknesses of Ganondorf's up B. Trying to go out deep. Are we going to see the up B clash? No. Great delay there by Peckham.
Yeah, trying to be very careful about that for sure. Probably could have edge-guarded Ganondorf actually by just throwing out some arms moves, but couldn't secure passage for themselves. I like that aggressive arms trying to recover too, making sure Mattbro stays off of you, especially at this percentage. This is terrifying.
Forward air again, yeah, not quite biting this time as Peckham used the ledge of invulnerability to its maximum against Mattbro. That's another problem with Ganondorf. They don't really have a lot of options that hit the ledge. You can kind of ledge camp them a little bit unless they preload an up tilt. And if they do that, just kind of look at them and be like, why?
What are you doing over there?
It's I see what you're doing. I'm just going to jump over and punish you for it. Don't.
I do, yeah, as we said, I love how Mattbro's playing this. He's playing so careful and patient. He's a full stock ahead, but he's not forcing anything. He's just slowly but surely finding approaches, finding a hit here once in a while, and he's just going to eventually, if we see it correctly, just find a full stock.
I mean, a lot of Ganondorf players, they get a little bit lost in the sauce of the Triforce of Power and start mashing that C-stick and tossing out smash attacks willy-nilly. Mattbro, no, we're seeing forward air, side B, and neutral air are the moves that he tends to use to control space around him. And those are, coincidentally, the Ganondorf's fastest moves with a little bit or no lag. So he's just doing exactly what he needs to do, not opening himself up, expecting to exploit. But right there, that down air, perhaps making me eat my words, that was a bit unnecessary and gets hard punished for it.
Yeah, bicycle kick came out there really quick. He was looking for something. A bicycle kick actually offstage might have done the trick, but
trying to edge guard with Ganondorf. Good God.
Yeah, I don't know how he's trying to do it, but finds a Wizard's Foot in neutral, secures the game 1 with 1 clean stock left to spare, and making us eat our words is Mattbro taking game 1. The patience from this beast is amazing.
Very true. I'm really digging the way that that he's playing this. I feel like this is the style that a lot of the best Ganondorf players tend to use. They just wait for you to give them opportunities. They're not going to try to seize it here. They recognize that the character's aerial mobility isn't great. They recognize that his running speed isn't great. They just go ahead and walk forward and put the fear of God in.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty effective if I do say so myself. So I'm interested to see how Peckham can really adjust around this. It's mostly just kind of making sure you stay far, far away from the powerful paws of Ganon. Of course, we're not going to see any character changes. These two don't really tend to do that, as we've seen so far. And it's actually Final Destination. No platforms, a little bit different blast zones, and that's just kind of how Peckham wants the game to be played.
Peckham again at edge to start off the match. It looks like these little burst options by Mattbro, things like dash attack or connecting to neutral air. He's using his character's tools to his fullest advantage, but no double jump there, and that is the stock. We've been waiting to see Peckham take care of that. The charge Ram is a difference maker in this matchup for sure.
Yeah, it's the difference between a quick, clean edgeguard kill or just a little bit of a damage. The possibility of missing it's definitely there, but we saw Peckham have it in game 1, but now it's working out pretty well. Of course, I cannot underestimate the spot dodges from Mattbro as well, keeping himself alive in plenty of situations, even when certain death at the ledge calls. But so far, Peckham's almost has a full lap stock on Mattbro's stock here, so interesting that this Final Destination change is really working out for Peckham. Maybe it's the mindset as well.
Yeah, what do you actually do as Ganondorf when Peckham lingers down there, though, like that? Like, if the tether recoveries are that low, like, Ganon just kind of has to look at it.
Yeah. I mean, Mattbro anyway has just kind of been playing very patient anyway, so it wouldn't surprise me to see him just do that even if Min was sitting on the ledge.
Good air dodge in this time. Peckham has been putting the pain on Mattbro. With this flat stage, nowhere for Ganon to go. No platforms can save him and allow him another option. Good God, just coming down, tosses out the jab, and Peckham jumps. Mattbro's got a sword.
Yeah, that's... The power of Ganon callouts are very intimidating and very fun to watch from the other side. My goodness. But, I mean, that's the problem is that Mattbro needs to do that 2 more times to come out on top.
Did you notice how he had to grab edge there? Like, he just immediately ducked down and grabbed edge. It's like, this is the place where I need to be, where I'm in the lowest amount of disadvantage. Last I checked, it's usually an awful spot to be at ledge.
Oh yeah, for sure. But somehow Mattbro has found solace at the ledge. He's made peace with it after trying to deal with Min for so long.
It's super impressive. Like, his ledge options aren't really getting called out too much. Oh, the forward smash!
Oh, yes!
Peckham! And Mattbro tosses down the sword one more time. Peckham getting a little bit too complacent in those air dodge habits, and Mattbro punishes accordingly.
Yeah, that is such an amazing call out. The power of fear that Ganondorf brings is so crazy. And I love to see it. You know, you see it with grapplers in traditional games. You see it with heavies here in this game. It's just Ganondorf is intimidating to the next degree because if he calls you out on one big scary move, it could be game over for you.
And now it's even. Like, after all of the pressure Peckham was able to apply, all of a sudden Peckham is at kill percent, forced to recover. What does Mattbro have? He tried for the up air, not quite going to finish off. Now he's in an awkward spot here, forced at edge, barely getting through.
He was pixels away from dying there.
I think he might be dead. Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's dead there. He worked so hard to come back there, got a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too impatient there in the end, and then lost it. Yeah, My goodness.
That's one of those where you got too much momentum. Ganondorf is a character that if you're going off stage, you're expending all of your resources to edge guard, and you're slow on your upbeat recovery. So if Peckham was able to recover, which he did, he can immediately just flick up on the C-stick, snap with that tether recovery, and then start edge trapping Ganon. And that is not the spot you want to be in.
So, game 3's coming in. Now it gives Mattbro the counter pick, which, even on a stage that Mattbro didn't pick, he did phenomenally on. Especially after such a huge deficit to start out on Final Destination, came back so strong, even though still losing it. So with the counter pick now, game 3, and some very hefty reads, Mattbro could come out on top in his best of 3 set.
No, I think this man only needs one.
For that.
So Kalos is the option. This is really interesting. It's larger, so perhaps if Peckham wants to camp this out, Mattbro might have some trouble with that. But also, I mean, the walls are going to be a big game changer here as Ganon has the opportunity to like ride the walls and force Peckham to say, hey, if you go ahead and hit me with anything, I can just DI in, tech the wall, and perhaps have another reset life.
Yeah, that's definitely a viable option here. The platform's going to cause some crazy mayhem as well, and Mattbro's looking to cause some crazy mayhem. Look at all the sheer force of the moves coming out.
Tries to land a back air to force Peckham off stage again, but not quite working out. And now tries to read in the side B. Those air dodges are he's reacting to the moves by Peckham, which is super smart there. Like you have to go ahead and not use that resource if you're Ganon.
Yeah, for sure. Mattbro looking to try to like edge guard here, not quite finding it, as Peckham has a great way to kind of stall and kind of cover space in the air. No tech actually, and the flame shift to down tilt is going to be it for sure. That's one stock down for Mattbro in game 3. Peckham needs to respond accordingly to kind of keep up, but it can be awfully difficult.
Mattbro's using a really good ledge trap too. He's basically just doing fastball forward air, which auto cancels, and then he's backing up and using the side B because Peckham's tried to roll through that like 2 or 3 times now, and Mattbro has adapted, very well. The problem now is that you're at a high percent. You don't really have a huge margin for error. You have to go ahead and open up and get a little bit extra credit, you figure. How can you do that when Peckham's like so content to dance at max distance?
Yeah, it's just the nickel and dime game for Mattbro. Is you can see the amount of shield damage he takes, and then occasionally closing the distance with Wizard's Foot when the lag from Peckham's moves is just too great. And so when Mattbro's here at this like 140, 160%, just playing 80% of the game at ledge and like full arms distance, it could be incredibly difficult. No air dodge here, but that fast fall to uppy was absolutely immaculate. Holding onto the stock as long as possible and tried to Doria, but ate the nair for it. So you know what? You can't have them all, Mattbro. You can't have them all.
I mean, I can't pretend to be a Ganon expert here, but I don't think that move would have killed at 33. That was perhaps betting the farm on a move that was not even going to secure you the stock. I would have liked to have seen Mattbro be a little bit more patient and wait until maybe Peckham's at 50 or so instead of pulling out those wild cards.
It's not about the stock, it's about sending the message, and Mattbro has taught us that pretty well, as we're just kind of seeing a lot more up smashes now to this stock, and it actually has lost the percentage lead. So, not sure if it's a coincidence, but it's something to keep in mind here, as just Mattbro is just stuck at constant disadvantage. Nair.
Neutral air.
Yeah, that cancels out the ram. The awareness from Mattbro is insane for that.
Look at this too, what Peckham's doing now. He's dashing back, waiting for Mattbro to land with an aerial or to go ahead and use the down B in, and then he's covering it with hitboxes. Peckham has started to realize exactly how he needs to approach this matchup. That option is deadly against Ganondorf.
Yeah, the adaptations there is so important. Peckham continuing to kind of figure it out as just, hey, back up, throw hitboxes out, leave Mattbro pretty helpless, and the amount of percentage gone in the past minute or so from Peckham is pretty good.
It feels like every time Mattbro does anything other than like short hop, fast fall, forward air, he's getting hit. Like neutral air does not cover the angle of these arms, so Peckham is able to just put the hitbox out with impunity, and we are seeing it 170% to only 60 for Peckham on that stock.
Yeah, no tech there. Get up attack actually getting snuffed out by forward air. And the Nair, yeah, that's going to do it.
Yeah, no double jump.
The last stock game 3 situation for these two. A lot of them we've seen tonight, and this one is very exciting.
Shield is getting a little bit low for Mattbro, though, so now I think it's time to go ahead and toss out the Dragon Arms and the Ram and just chip away at it and get a few shield pokes. Like, look at that. You can basically take one, and then Mattbro has to retreat all the way across the stage and wait for his shield to regen.
Yeah, and then you lose stage control, and then a lot of times Mattbro's just forced to ledge. So it's a good game plan by Peckham, and when he gets too close, got to be careful. Actually almost eats the laser-powered up version for it. Mattbro stays living. He really understands the disadvantage state in the recovery game that he has to go through to come back.
Yeah, he's been janked out by that before, I can guarantee you. That's one of those things where once you get hit with it once, you put it in the back pocket and say, okay, after back throw, they're going to try to scam me with one of those charged up moves. Have to dodge them.
This is going to be a re-grab. Managed to gets hit by the down tilt. Nothing quite following up, but 122%. Peckham's on death's door. It's going to get red. Gets caught. It actually techs away, but get caught by the down tilt anyway. And in a matchup that we thought was going to be lopsided, turned out to be a close one in Ganondorf's favor, as Mattbro actually manages to secure their spot in winter semis.
I mean, the Triforce of Power is not something to be underestimated. If it is last stock, last hit, you need to make sure that your gameplay is absolutely perfect, because